Hello, hello, and welcome to Quackalope, Latino
you're
Spice
swinging
Edition.
in there. Yeah, you're jumping in ahead of me.
Yes, I was.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Today, clearly, I'm here with Jan, who you've seen on the channel before, and we are doing a unboxing of a game that was sent to you.
Yeah, so Sentient Cow Games was great to send us a copy of their latest title, Escape from Dulce. So Escape from Dulce is a dungeon crawler, but it has some very interesting features to it. Specifically the opportunity to go through levels, and as we go through the unboxing, we're going to be able to discover all of that stuff.
It's got like a 3 or 4 story tower that goes up in the center of the game.
Looks very cool, very cool indeed. And besides that, it has a lot of humor to it, which is one of the most endearing qualities about this game from what we've seen so far. And I'm just very excited to just dig into this guy.
Well, in some of the videos we were watching, you can be a sentient cow, you can be a family that is morphed together into an octopus?
Yeah, yes.
Something along those
lines?
lines?
Just beautiful.
So guys, just like always, we're going to break into this game. We have watched a few videos on this game. We are generally familiar enough with it that as we bring out the components, we'll talk to you about how they work in the game, a little bit about the gameplay. So this will be closer to a game overview and not just the generic unboxings that a lot of people do. Let's go ahead and flip it to the back so we can take a look at what exactly is here. And over here to the side, we have the expansion content as well. Now, is all of this readily available? Is it on Kickstarter? What's the deal?
Well, so Sentient Cow Games, they launched this from Kickstarter. From what I understand, they do have some copies left, but they will be going through another Kickstarter soon this summer, where they're going to be actually expanding the game to some new expansions, some new opportunities, some new scenarios. As we said before, this is a dungeon crawler, so it thrives off of that variability. And it thrives off of the opportunity of just giving people more of this great stuff.
So if the components look good, if this looks like a game that'll be up your alley, check it out and maybe keep an eye out if you can't get your hands on it immediately for the next expansion-based Kickstarter to launch. On the back here, we can see those towers that we were talking about. We can see there's going to be a lot of miniatures in this game, I assume, like most Kickstarter games this day and age.
Yeah, but hey, these miniatures are going to be unique because you have a 2-headed cow in there. So I don't know. I haven't seen that a lot before. So I'm excited to see these.
You mean most of your games don't come with a 2-headed cow?
Not
I have
all my games.
It's a standard purchase condition for the majority of my games.
It's true. Yeah.
Let me go ahead and read the back here, or would you like to read the flavor text?
Oh, I would love to.
Let's go ahead and have Jan read the flavor text here so we can get a sense of what's inside this box and what it's hopefully talking about.
Secret unknown stuff. Escape from Dulce. Dulce Base, a secret underground facility controlled by gray aliens and their human collaborators, is hidden somewhere in the deserts of New Mexico. You awaken on the lowest level of the base after the malfunction of your cryopod prison and must work together with your fellow prisoners to fight your way to the surface before the man in black tracks you down. Along the way, you'll upgrade your character and find a wide mixture of weapons and items to help you in your escape attempt. Increasing alarm levels and random story encounter cards dictate how many self-strategizing enemies appear in each room. Uncover hidden objective tokens to find the portal up to the next level before you run out of clones and your party is wiped out. 2 campaigns, 8 special missions, and adjustable difficulty ensures hours of replayability and fun. Do you have what it takes to escape from Dulce? Do you?
Cool. I'm not sure that I do, but I do have what it takes to go ahead and open up this box. So
blasphemous.
So here's what we'll do. I'll let you do the honors. We'll cut a seam in the side. Then we'll be respectfully quiet. Well, I mean, you can talk now.
Can I? Are you sure?
Yeah.
But I don't want to disrespect.
Oh, come on. Cut a seam in the side of the box. We're ridiculous.
This is powerful stuff happening.
I wouldn't do it that way.
This way?
Yeah, do it that way.
Okay.
You're being too dramatic.
I don't know. Okay, there we go.
You're good. So we've cut a seam in the side of the box. Jan will be respectfully quiet. I mean, not quite as good as when I do it, but You know,
Hey,
you're learning.
we will let you be the judge of
figuring it
that.
out. Let's go ahead and lift off the top here and see exactly what's inside. Just as I lift this up, I do want to point out this kind of comic book style artwork across the top. You can see just, you know, the chaos and this mixture of weird and crazy stuff happening. I don't know a ton about this game yet, but if it's anything like that top cover of the box, it should be a wild ride. So this is a, I was actually expecting this to, you know how they sometimes have tokens stacked up? This box is deeper than the lid is tall.
That's very interesting.
Like, I was expecting a few punch boards here at the top so that
Yeah,
it would
yeah.
close flat, but that's not what they've done. This is actually, it's actually set apart here. We have 2 pieces of cardboard here on the top, just keeping everything in place and nice. We have feels kind of like a comic book.
Yeah, I was
honestly.
about to say that.
We have a comic book style rule book here with, let's see here. It looks like we start out with a little bit of a story, the game overview, and then all of these pages with some nice illustrations, nice pictures. I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but you can see a few of the different characters here. We have the Smith family. We have Snippy Von Bell. I like that.
That's totally my character.
Yeah, that's who you're going to play. I want to play as the
Taking
Smith
zips right
family,
now.
if I'm going to be honest. The rule book is a total of 47 pages long. So you're going to have a little bit of work to do to make sure that you're ready for everyone to play it.
Yeah, but I'm sure that also includes the scenarios.
It does. Yeah, it's also going to like include the setup, the scenarios, some of the story and flavor text and stuff. This game is for 1 to 5 players. It's for ages 14 plus. It says that it takes about 2 to 3 hours for a short campaign and 3 to 4 hours for an epic campaign. So this is deeper and longer than I guess expected.
Yeah, no, but
That's a long campaign.
yeah, no, for sure. And one of the good things about this is that, remember when we talked about variability? It also has some special one-off missions that you can do on the side to keep your gaming sessions more condensed if that's what you're looking for.
And it says here that it'll take about 30 minutes,
To an hour and a half.
30 to 90 minutes for some of those special missions. So this game fits a gamer like me that enjoys long campaign-style games where all we do is play one game for the entire day.
and
or a
gamers
gamer
like me,
you.
yeah, that don't necessarily, you know, gravitate towards that type of game, would enjoy it, but I definitely do like my shorter
But an
games.
hour and a half is kind of where you
Sweet
lean.
spot. Yeah.
So that's the rule book. I like how it looks, and we'll spend some time going through it a little bit later to see what's exactly in store. Jan, do you want to do the honors and go ahead and pull out some of these miniatures?
Oh, you know I do. Let's see. Okay, so another nice lid here to keep everything.
I always
in check.
appreciate games that have insert trays.
Yes.
I say it every time they do, and I think I'm going to continue saying it because I want every game company to take note.
Yes, please.
Having an insert tray, having something that allows me to organize, keep the miniatures nice, keep the components nice, and get the game to the table immediately is invaluable to me. Honestly, some of the games behind me here may not stay in my collection, not because they're not good games, but because it's too much work for me to pull them out and get them to the table. I don't want to have to go through 375 chits in order to set up your game.
Yeah, so game publishers and game designers, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for doing this, right?
Yes.
Every time they do it, I'm grateful. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these miniatures here. Just first impressions. Here's the one that you said you wanted to.
Oh, and I'm
wanted
very
to
proud
play.
of that. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful?
These are nice. These are nice. These are nice miniatures. It's kind of it's a darker plastic. It feels good. There is going to be a little bit of cleanup for those of you that are miniature painters and stuff. On the base specifically, there's a little bit of areas where before you prime and before you paint, you're going to want to go through. But overall, they're molded well. They actually have a good amount of detail for the size and the type of components they are. And we'll have, I'm sure, as we're talking about these, we're showing you close-ups of all of these miniatures,
How could we
so
not?
you have a sense of what we're talking about. But here's the Smith family, which is completely blended together and a tentacle at the bottom.
Oh wow, that's.
It reminds me, what's that video game where you're Octodad? It reminds me
Oh
of
yeah,
that,
Octodad. Yeah, that's it.
running around. Here's some dice. Jan, if you want to do the honors of judging the
let's-
dice here.
Let's do some rolls.
What do we think? How do they feel?
They feel nice in the hand. They have a nice bit of weight. I enjoy that. Let's see how they roll.
Okay. Seems like they roll all right. I see a mixture of highs and lows. I think we're leaning a little high, which is...
I always roll high, baby.
That's true. So these are plastic dice. They actually do have a pretty good weight about them. I like the colors. They stand out well. They'll be easy to identify. Each one of the little symbols are engraved in, and they're clean and easy to read. Yeah, these are nice dice. These certainly hold up. We have, instead of a bag of baggies, we have a handful of baggies and a bag with which to put the handful of baggies into.
We suspect, because there's another layer down
this
here.
This is what this is for.
Oh,
trust me. This is what this is for.
You're the expert.
This handful of baggies
goes inside the bigger baggies.
It goes inside of the bigger baggies. So now we have the patented bag of baggies.
Wow. You should get that. You should get that. Trademarked.
Oh, it's trademarked.
Already?
It's trademarked. Yeah. Every game that sends out a bag of baggies pays royalty to Quackalope.
Oh, okay.
That's where the the King of Death collection comes from.
Oh, okay.
Let's go ahead and lift off this tray. Set this over to the side.
I gotta say, this is amazing.
Okay. Why?
It's essentially a folder. Look at that.
Okay. So
it's just
like,
so neat.
So it's like an opened up manila folder.
Yeah.
Oh, nice texture on this as well.
No, yeah, I really dig it. It's so
What is this texture? It's kind of like a heavier card.
Yeah,
It's kind of like a heavier playing card.
Yeah, it's almost like a canvas type of style cardstock here.
So these are going to be our characters. Here we have Snippy Von Bell. Now, do you know how these are laid out? We have a little bit of flavor text for each person. Down here we have their kind of items, so their weapons, armors, abilities, their backpacks, so anything that they're carrying. We also have upgradable stats. So we have the strength, the mental, accuracy, speed. Do you remember what this top section is here?
Yeah, so what's very interesting about all the characters in the game, that they're all going to be, to a certain point, asymmetric, not 100%. Essentially, their abilities are very unique to them.
Okay.
And not just their abilities, but the composition of their characters as well. So up here in the upper right corner, you're going to have essentially those initial skills that you're going to be able to be using across the adventure. And you're also going to have your health, and you're also going to have your armor on the right-hand side. Immediately underneath that, you have your main stats. These are the stats that you're going to be using to roll against other players, other characters. You're going to have other opportunities to explore rooms, which is a very big thing in this game. You're going to have the opportunity to see how easy it is for you to hit other characters. And then finally, your speed is going to determine how many things you get to do on your turns.
Okay.
So everybody is different. For example, me, I'm very strong. I have 4 dumbbells ready to just wreak some havoc with those dice. And for other players, it's going to be different. Some might have 2, others might have 3. They all vary based on who they are. This little portion over here on the left, as you said, it's going to not just give you a background on the character, but it's also going to give you like the the most important things. For example, you got your armor proficiencies, you have your abilities, and actually all those things play into the different loots that you're going to be able to equip to your character.
Now I have to say, I'm loving this right away because I'm a lore above everything type of person. And so up here in the top corner, they've dedicated a whole section of space to let me know. And it looks like, I guess, the aliens have transported us here, right? Because these are the folders that they've actually done. This is the research they've done on us that we're actually playing from, right? So here in the top, it says, name Snippy Von Bell, height 6'2", weight 630 pounds.
Just like
blood type is blocked out. Date of birth blacked out. Indoctrination 11/11/1946. Weapon proficiencies: Snippy can't use traditional weapons unless they have the correct harness equipped. That makes sense for a cow. Armor proficiencies: alien and specialized armor. Abilities: psi and athletic abilities. And then we have a paragraph. On every one of these, every single one, we have a paragraph. Some of them with like blacked out text section and stuff. I love that.
It's just great.
I love that. Specimen number 5627 is the sole survivor of the second hybrid experimentation process that was started at the beginning of World War II. The United States government partnered with the British Empire to create a regiment of bovine superweapons to fight the Nazis. After completing over 42 missions successfully, Snippy was returned to the United States government and housed in a newly constructed Dulce base. Dulce scientists are in the early stages of the third phase of the hybridization portion, using Snippy's DNA. The process is to be carried out in the farm fields across the United States and will be regulated in a joint effort between the CIA, NGA, and DIA. This subject possesses the capacity to form words in the standard British dialect from its time in World War II. Specimen number 5627 is still in cryo storage at Dulce Base. That's great.
That's fantastic.
I haven't played this game yet. I don't know how it plays, but here's one thing that I can say. When I see a company putting time and energy and resources into the components, into the gear grids, into the quality of production, into the flavor text, the lore, how much the cow weighs, I get excited for the game. So I can at least say that. The fact that I have, a wall of lore to read after this video is done has me excited to figure out what this game is all about. Let's go ahead and keep diving into here. What else do we have? Tell me about it.
Oh, well, this is actually very important. This next portion here is the alarm level tracker. So throughout the game, as you're doing things, you're obviously going to be alerting, and you're going to be creating some chaos inside this space, right? So as the more chaos you create, the more things start to happen. So you have 3 levels of increasing difficulty. You have your green, you have your yellow, and then you have your red. You don't want to make it to red, and you especially don't want to make it to black. Because when you reach black, the man in black is going to spawn on the current level, and he's gonna do some very bad things to all of us escapees, and here he is in all his menacing glory.
He looks like a very formal Slender Man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and from the components I've seen, the picture is not any better.
Okay.
Even more menacing.
Let's see what else we have in here. So we're gonna have some punch tokens here. These are actually gonna be the platforms that we're building up, at least one of them. Cardboard's a little thinner than I would like.
Oh wow, yeah, that actually is.
It probably won't matter because we're not gonna be moving them around a lot. It's actually gonna be a tower that's stacked up. But I always do kind of a request, a little bit heavier duty cardboard. Everything punches out nicely though. Let's go ahead and take everything out of the rest of this box.
Okay.
And so we can move this box out of the way and let people see
These,
if we can. Here,
yeah, these are usually a little
this.
bit tougher. Okay. Yeah,
There we
much
are.
better.
Oh, we've got
and there's
piles of
another
stuff.
tray.
There's another tray underneath here. All right,
Oh,
so
wow.
we have a tray full of cards and other little components. We're gonna set this big box over to the side here so that we can start showing you these larger play mats. So each one of these are going to be the stackable units, right? So this will be like a base floor. Each one of these floors are going to have like resources that we're looking for. They're going to have different gear, different abilities to allow us to level up. They're going to have different creatures and bosses that we have to battle in order to like raise up to the next floor.
Yep.
And our victory conditions are kind of escaping the tower we're on. Is that accurate?
Depending on the scenario.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair enough. So let's go ahead and demonstrate a little bit about how these work. These pieces here are actually going to be the stands,
Yep.
correct?
Mm-hmm.
So each one of these will come out, and then these circle pieces somehow we'll have to take the time to figure out exactly how this works. But basically, these towers here are going to go like that. These circle pieces are going to slot in there, so that you actually have kind of looks like a radio tower.
Yeah.
In a way, is that what it is?
Yeah. I think it's more like this idea of a spaceship or an underground base. So you're going like from little by little all the way up to the surface. So yeah, it's very interesting. It looks great when actually built up.
So let's go ahead and I'll have you take a look and tell me about some of these last few remaining elements in the box here. They were nicely organized in a tray at the bottom of this box
Until we
tipped it over trying to get everything out. And so now they're a mix, and we're just gonna plop them down here so we can take a look at them. We have larger dice.
Oh, hello.
These are nice. They're engraved just like the other ones are. They also have a really nice weight about them.
Yeah.
And you want to give them a test roll?
Yeah, 1, 2, and
Yeah, it's a solid test roll. We got I think almost one of every number.
yeah.
That'll work for me.
Very nice.
These are approvable dice.
Oh yeah, I love those.
I'm perfectly fine rolling some enemy dice.
Can I just use these in other games?
Probably. I think that'll work.
No, it's gorgeous. I love it. So actually, here we have a nice assortment of cards, and each one of these cards are going to represent different things. So first off, these cards that have the different levels of intensity. So remember on this board when we talked about green, yellow, and then red? That's how these characters come in. So usually when you go into rooms, what are you looking for?
I was looking for the knife.
So usually when you go into rooms, you're going to reveal an encounter. So when you reveal an encounter, that's when you're going to determine first kind of a little bit of flavor text, what happens, and then what level or intensity of characters you're actually going to get in that moment. And it just creates a lot of interesting tension throughout the game. Throughout here, you're gonna have your allies. The first card is, I think this is kind of like one of my favorite pieces of art ever. You got the Blurry the Sasquatch. And apparently he's going to become an ally of ours.
Now, what do allies do?
So allies are actually super interesting. Besides giving you additional boons and becoming characters in play that you're going to be able to use against your aggressors, you actually have to recruit them by, from what I understand, giving them certain materials that you're going to find throughout the game.
Can't you give this guy like peanut butter or something?
Yeah.
He'll follow you around?
Yeah, apparently so. And it's just really funny, and I guess that all characters have kind of different things that they're looking for. So it's a lot about discovery, understanding what happens, kind of like really delving into the world and discovering more and more and more. So it seems very interesting. So all of these cards are representing the different stats. Here particularly, you're going through the commanders. The commanders are the biggest baddies out of all the baddies, and they represent upgraded versions of the basics.
There's the man in black you're telling me about.
Isn't he terrifying?
Yeah, he looks kind of like a Slenderman version of the Joker.
Yeah, and here we have our character reference cards.
These are character reference cards. Yeah. So these are like the simple step 1 through 12.
That, by the way, all games should have. Always.
Encounter overview, decide who walks into a room, draw an encounter card, raise the alarm level, reveal the object token, resolve the scenario on the card, draw enemy cards and place enemy pieces on the game board, roll for initiative and set up a combat tracker, resolve combat, receive XP, search rooms, place room cleared token, trade and equip new items. So this full on is a dungeon crawler.
Oh yeah,
even though
sure.
From my viewpoint, when I first saw the game, it didn't look like a dungeon crawler to me.
What did it look like to you?
I don't know. I saw it and I thought it was, I don't know, it didn't look like a dungeon crawl to me, probably because of the tower.
Yeah, the verticality of it.
The verticality of it and the circular shapes. But this is a room by room, like resolve scenarios, battle the bad guys that appear in that room, and move on. Like upgrading your stats, receiving certain gear, making hard decisions about like what allies you bring with you, where you make sacrifices in order to make it to the end.
Yeah, and it's a traditional dungeon crawler in the sense that it's completely co-op, or at least from the scenarios that we know of until now. We don't know if there are other secrets.
And for a dungeon crawler, for a dice roller,
yeah,
they had to make good dice. I
oh
guess,
yeah,
right. Like that was a requirement. What are these little small cards?
So this is actually one of the funnest parts of the game. These are
I just found a giant wrench.
Yeah, this is the loot. So one of the really neat things about this game.
This is kind of fun. I just get to open the game and enjoy like being a kid over it, while Jan tells you all the informative stuff. So
I gotta be the adult here. You know, I'm used to it. So the loot cards are actually very interesting. I think they are all unique art, which is one of the first things. It's very impressive. Like, look at these stacks of cards. This is that's considerable, right? So all the cards are going to be unique, and all the cards are going to do different things. And from those different things, some of them might not even seem like they're useful until you go through the game, because I feel there are certain portions during the narrative that you're gonna get the opportunity.
I just found a conjoined sweater vest.
Oh, I think I know for who that is. And there's my harness right here. Very nice.
Gun-mounted harness. All right, continue with your informative stuff.
Yeah, no, so there's a lot of variability in these loot cards, and throughout the game you might get something like as innocuous as a wrench, you know? And the wrench might have a keyword or peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Right? Peanut butter. So you might have something so innocent as that.
This is nice, though. I'm looking at the bottom here, and it says, heal 1 health and discard, or give to Blurry to have him stay with you for 1 game level.
Well, there you go.
I actually really appreciate that it lets me know that there's a use for this beyond just giving me health. Because without knowing all the lore to the game, it can be hard to know, like, should I hold on to the peanut butter beyond just giving me the health? Because if that's all it told me it could do, I'd probably use it before I ran into that cool scenario event. Playing the game for the first time, I'd have no idea who Blurry is, but I'd know that there's some sort of reason to keep this.
Somebody to look out for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Got a cassette tape, VHS tape, a boombox, a Reptoid egg.
It's great.
Yeah.
And there's 3 whole packs of cards like this.
Okay.
Each one representing different intensities or different levels of upgrades. So it's just great overall.
So we have one more pack of cards here.
And these are our standard fare baddies. So these are essentially.
So before I was looking through the big bad guys and some of our allies, and these are the guys we're going to be facing room by room.
Yeah, more recurrently for sure.
And then I assume all of these are just going to be our stat indicators.
Yeah.
So these are the things that are going to either attach to the side of the clipboards or attach to the sides of these cards, letting us know what their armor level is, how much health they have left, everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's the components of this game, right?
I think so.
Let's go ahead and punch out all these tokens. Get a tower built here in the center of the table so that we have to like talk from around the corners of it and let people see exactly what this game looks like when it's set up on the game table.
Yeah, I'm excited to do it.
All right, we'll see you in a second. Hey guys, so we're in the process of punching out all the tokens and getting this big tower set up. And there are a few things that we've noticed that we do want to make sure we point out to the audience. First off, because this cardboard's a little thinner than I would have liked, and these punch tokens have small areas that slot into each other to build a tower. Some of these pieces of cardboard do have a tendency to peel away from the main piece of cardboard when you're punching them out. So you want to be very careful with that. You also may want to have a little bit of artisan glue next to you, just so you can fix any mild tears that you might get while you're punching it, to make sure that the glue is staying nice. Another thing that we noticed is some of these small stat indicator tokens. The majority of them are punched fine. However, on the back of one of the player boards, a few of them were off-center just a little bit, leaving a white edge instead of a full color edge. Yeah. It's something that does happen when you get things misaligned, but it's not something that you really want to see too often. And the very last thing that we noticed is on one of our flat trays here, there was a little bit of a screen printing error, and so we have a little bit of a crease when it comes to the top layer of artwork. That being said, I haven't at this point reached out to the company to see if any of these components are replaceable. And to see what the customer service is like.
So actually, Sentient Cow Games they're fantastic. I'm sure if there are any issues with any copies, they would be more than happy to try and work with the gamer or the client to fix whatever happened.
Absolutely. So you've dealt with them.
They're wonderful.
With them, so that you know that they're responsive and everything. I did just want to go ahead and so when you're unboxing your copy of the game, make sure to keep an eye out for any components that may have like a slight crease or anything like that. It's worth noting when you first take everything out of the package, just in case you need to reach out to them and get a replacement part. So we just went through and punched all the tokens, opened up a lot of the cards, and not like a real game would be at all, but had fun setting things up on towers, just to show you the size and scope of what exactly comes in this game. I mean, we have our main playing area here where we're keeping track of the enemies on the board, the combat tracker, like when attacks are going to happen. We have the different zones. This is going to be the starting zone where the cryopods like disengage and we all come out of, all the way through levels 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 as we're trying to like move our way through this silo type object, trying to get out so we can see the real world again.
Yeah.
Escape from the government who's doing scientific experiments on us and testing us. What are some of the things what are your final thoughts when it comes to this unboxing video? Final thoughts on the artwork, components, general game? We haven't had a chance to play it yet.
my thoughts are, can we just play it right now? It looks so great.
We'll probably get the game to the table either tonight or tomorrow, if we're going to be honest.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Jan's going to be writing a full review of this game for Way Too Many Games.
Yeah,
right?
correct.
He's the lead writer on the board game section of that website. So once you have the article written, we'll make sure to link it in the description of this video so people can go check it out. Along with that, I'm sure this video will probably be embedded in the article itself.
Oh,
so
for sure.
They'll be seeing it one way or another. Final thoughts on this game. I think the artwork's lovely. The theme, I mean, they've really stretched themselves, and I feel like it all is still. I'm going to come back to lore. I always come back to lore. So far, what I see is that lore-wise, they've given themselves the groundwork of something really fun. This is a experimental zone, you know, in the U.S. It's full of myth and mythology. It's full of like cows from World War I, all the way up to like green aliens and space people. Like it even has Bigfoot included. It's all the stuff we like to imagine, and the chaos and the fun tropes and everything like that, boiled down into a, you know, in what's that zone in the United States you can't go to?
Area 51.
Boiled down into like an Area 51-esque exploration game where you not only get to experience all these wacky ideas, but potentially a really fun dungeon crawl. I'm really hopeful this game is a lot of fun.
I have a good feeling about it, honestly. I think it's taking a lot of the traditional dungeon crawling aspects and kind of turning it on its head. Literally.
Sure.
Right, and I feel that the table presence and the kind of like just the scope of the game in general is a very different type of crawler, because it seems to be more of a single sitting crawler. And there's honestly not that much in the market for that particular type of crawling experience. You either have like the extreme, you know, full-fledged campaign a la Gloomhaven, or you have something much shorter that's maybe can't even be considered a dungeon crawl. So this sitting kind of like in the middle of that, I feel is a great space to be. And with the variability and all the things that you're going to be able to do in a game and in future games and in future titles, it's just going to be some great fun.
Absolutely. We do have one last thing to go ahead and open up. This is the expansion content that they said, so let's, we don't know what's inside of here, so let's take a look at it.
Idea.
It looks to me like some more bosses, some more cards, and potentially another scenario book or scenario map or something like that.
Yeah, and I actually think this is almost a teaser for what's going to come in the next installment, Joey Fixit's Wild Ride. So as we said, this is a continuing story. There's a lot more to Secret Unknown stuff and the Escape from Dulce world, and even more from Sentient Cow games that they're planning along the road. So these are all just nice and very fun ways of delving deeper into that lore that you've already enjoyed so much. So we have some cards here, we have some new bases. So look at that, we have I think that's
some
a new commander.
Yeah, new commanders to either new allies or new commanders to face off against.
Oh, I think these are
some new items for sure. We have the Hidden Shrine of Umagatu, which is where a guy with a giant broadsword, like a barbarian type, and looks like some sort of sentient raptor with 4 arms gets involved. We have the player map for this. So I'm not exactly sure how this plays, and I don't know if these towers stay included, but this looks like a whole nother dungeon crawl map that we have in front of us here. Maybe a self-contained story, possibly. We'll have to see exactly what this is. Taking the groundwork that this game has built up and giving us some new options. So we have Joey Fixit and Sir Reginald the Cleaver, which are 2 new playable characters. Same components there. We have Secret Unknown Stuff, Escape from Dulce, Joey Fixit's Wild Ride. And this also deals with so this is we're actually landing on Mars or landing on the moon. And this other one we're in, so here's his space rover. We actually land down on the planet's surface and have to do something, have to solve something. Nice. So these are other just self-contained scenarios, which is what I want to see them do. I was saying that I thought they set themselves up for a interesting lore where they can just have fun and experiment. And these expansions are exactly what I'd like to see. I want to see a, you know, space exploration monkey. Like, I want to see that. I want to play as that. There's not many other games that let me.
Yeah, and from what I understand, Secret Unknown Stuff is actually going to become a whole universe of things. It's not necessarily just going to be tied to dungeon crawling. I think it might even expand to other areas and other games we haven't even thought of yet. So
cool.
Excited to see it.
That'll be interesting. Whatever the case, I am excited to get this game to the table. Thank you for joining us for a little bit of a game overview. Certainly a game unboxing. And Jan's first attempt at reading flavor text.
Did I do okay?
We'll see. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, letting us know if you're enjoying what's going on, if you'd like to see more of this game or any other games in the future, or more of him. Whatever the case, remember to do the important thing, which is get out there and play some games.
Yeah, always.
We'll see you next time. Thank you, guys.